Guys, welcome to this episode. In this one, I'm going to be just talking a lot about the Wilderness Agility course. It's kind of a bit of a different episode because the steps are pretty straightforward. The actual steps for this are just get level 70 agility, and you will need to get money. The guide assumes that you're going to get your money here at the course, but you could get it elsewhere. I'll talk about that in a little bit in the future in this section. I'm actually out here on my main, so I do have PK skull prevention on, so if you're worried about that, I'm really not risking very much. Yeah, the steps, first of all, are just get level 70. You don't have to do it here, but you do need to do it somewhere. You really don't want to wait. The guide needs 70 agility for some shortcuts later on, notably the Taverley dungeon shortcut for some Blue Dragon prayer training. You really want that, and just having high agility on your account will pay dividends for the rest of your account. You get more run restoration, lower lower run energy usage and whatnot. It's really beneficial to have, and there's no requirements. So okay, with that out of the way, we're going to talk about agility and some of the options, and it's going to be a whole ramble. I'm going to have some footage at the end that will show me just kind of the progression, but we're just going to be doing a lot of talking. So if you don't want to listen to me talk, well, I guess sorry, that's what this episode is. Anyway, so the course Wilderness Agility is very, very high risk and high reward. However, it can be just high reward, or at least moderate reward. The first thing I want to emphasize is that you do not have to pay for the course. The most of the time I'm talking about this video is going to be assuming that you're getting 150k and paying for the course and risking it at the dispenser. But I do want to emphasize right up front that you don't have to do that. You can just do the course without paying, and it is still very good agility experience, some of the best in the game at this level. It's actually pretty on par with Sepulcher, even farther on, up until level 72, where Sepulcher really starts to take the lead and gets much better. But at the level range that we're at right now, 52 to 62 and 62 to 72, the experience difference is really not that significant, and you can do agility this one right now, and Sepulcher has really high requirements, so it's not a big deal. However, if you don't want to do that, you could do rooftops, you could get graceful, you could do barbarian fishing if you really wanted to. If you're not planning to risk things, then barbarian fishing is totally fine because your combat level doesn't matter as much. So there's a bunch of other options. You could do Brimhaven agility for all I care. Doesn't really matter. That's actually a pretty solid experience as well with no risk. So you have lots of options. However, if you don't get your money here, then you do need to get it elsewhere. And the other methods that are safe and reliable are much slower. They are safe, and they also are good skilling. So stuff like thieving, I'm not going to list every possible money-making option. Hey, buddy, hopefully this guy doesn't attack me. But there are tons of other ways to make money. They are all just not very fast in comparison. This course gives a boatload of money, and it's raw GP. And remember, raw GP can be stored in the coffers, so it is safe. But you get like 200k an hour or something at other sources, and this, when you're topping it out, it tops out like 1.5 mil cash raw GP per hour, not including the blighted supplies. It's like over 2 mil an hour if you include the blighted supplies, but that doesn't really matter for us too much. But the comparison is just massively different. But the other methods are perfectly fine because they progress your account and are efficient for skilling. So don't worry if you don't want to do that, but just want to throw that out there. Okay, now let's talk about the loot. As I alluded to, the loot here is amazing. It is enormously good. However, it is a very frustrating place to be. That is because the PKers will show up and they will kill you. It's frustrating. I get it. Now, I do want to remind you that the only reason why this course is even remotely fair or balanced is because of the PK risk. I just want you to remember that. That's something I had to remind myself whenever I died. And, I lose a mil plus or 1.5 mil in my bag or something. I was about to leave and I got killed. you know, the only reason why it's balanced because of that risk. If it wasn't for that, there would be no way this course would be even remotely fair in any imaginable way. So just keep that in mind whenever you die. That's why it's like that. So the XP is good. The loot is good. You don't have to do it. I have a whole list of talking points here. As I said, this is going to be a ramble. I'm actually re-recording this in the past. This is actually the last video that I'm going to be posting because I've spent the most time and effort researching it and trying to come up with things. So with that in mind, let's talk about the options for your account build. So I actually did this on my account without protection prayers. I did get some hit points levels. I did Witch's House, but it didn't really matter. The PKers were still able to kill me. However, if you want to, there is actually an alternative path that you can follow that will allow you to tank here at low levels at the Wilderness course. And that's about, that relies on getting some hit points levels and getting protection prayers, notably protection from magic and protection from range. Protection from melee takes longer to get, and honestly, if they have melee, they probably are going to murder you anyway. It's probably a G-Mauler or something, and the G-Maulers are just going to murder you. But oftentimes, and it gives more combat levels to get those extra prayer levels. But you can if you want to. But the build that I'm recommending is actually in the notable alternative section of the guide. I made a whole separate video talking about how to build that from account creation. It's pretty similar to the main path. The only significant difference that you would want to keep in mind is to not do Taurus Trap with magic, because it gains you combat levels. But if you did do that, you know, it's not the end of the world, just a couple magic levels, but you know, hopefully it doesn't cost you a death or something, but you can still go for that route even if you have an extra combat level or two. But going for the extra tankiness does give you a much better chance of survival. You can actually tank. In addition, I made a whole nother video about how to tank here at the course. I did a lot of research. I spent many hours looking over things and planning out and looking at tiles and working with somebody to do some testing and figuring out some of the best ways to get away at the course. So you need to understand how to log out if you do go for tanking, because if you don't understand the mechanics of the course, then, you know, it doesn't matter how tanky you are. You have to know how to actually get a log out. So I made a whole video explaining what to do and how to go around the course in different ways to get a tankiness and to get a log out. So go ahead and watch that. If you only have 15 HP, it's less important because you're going to die anyway, but I highly recommend you checking that out. Okay, so let's see. I talked about the XP is good. The loot is very good. You don't have to do this, so I talked about that. You still need level 70 agility. Even if you don't do this, even do it, whatever you do, you need level 70 agility. Oh, on that note, real briefly, you don't actually need to go to level 72 agility. If you are planning to do this and then go for Sepulcher later on, you will get level 70 to 72 from quest experience rewards. Stuff like Mornings in Part 2 gives a lot of experience, so you don't need to worry about that. Obviously, Song of the Elves also gives us agility reward, so going from 70 to 72, you'll be just fine from quests. But speaking of that, the other point is that you don't have to stop at level 70, because you can only ever do this course on the Ultimate Ironman early on in your account. If you try to come back later while you have a rune pouch or other items that you want to keep, then you would have to death pile to come to the course, and that really limits its usefulness, because having to go reset your death pile all the time would be really bad. It takes a lot of time, a lot of risk. It's really not worth it. So you want to do all of the course that you want to right up front, and then once you go on with your account, you're never really going to be able to do it again. So there's actually a pretty good argument to go farther than 70 agility, especially if you're not a Sepulcher enjoyer. You know, if, like for me, I don't really like Sepulcher too much, at least not the early floors. And you know, like 72, maybe go all the way to 82 agility or something, and you could really get a mass. Oh, that guy's probably gonna kill me. Oh yeah. Hold on. Well, let's see if I can tank this guy. Haha. Huh, okay, so that's actually a perfect example of how to tank at the course. That was completely unexpected. You can often get a logout doing that little trick. I go over that trick in the. Oh, I guess we'll go here. Was that the world I was just on? I don't remember. I go over that trick in the video. Hold on. Okay, so we're back. I'm actually that's pretty funny. So I might as well leave that in. That is a very very good way to juke PKers at this course, and I go into this in more detail in the tanking video. But the main mechanic. I guess I'll just throw this in here. You know, this is gonna be a long ramble anyway, so whatever. You know what? There's as I said, there's nothing else to this video other than just me talking. So you might as well enjoy it. But what happened there is the most important mechanic you need to know when tanking at this course is that whenever you are attacked by a PKer, whenever you get gap on them in some form or fashion, you will always get the ability to log out before the skeletons are able to take aggro on you. And you know, people don't know that and they don't expect it. So because he had attacked me, I ran down there and I knew that the skeletons would not be able to attack me until before I got the chance to log out. So you come here and you run all the way this way, and nobody expects it because people think, why would you run this way? You're just locking yourself in the corner and the skeletons will aggro onto you, but they actually won't. You get at least one tick. Now, if you miss your window, then you're kind of screwed because you only get one tick of freedom to do it. From my understanding, but you will always get at least one tick to log out before the skeletons get on you, and that means that you can actually get a log out. It applies pretty much everywhere on the course. So, you know, for example, if you fall on the log balance and you were attacked by PKer, then that's a free getaway because you just log out on the other side of on the bottom of the course. Just make sure you do it in time before the skeletons deck aggro on you. But again, I talk about this a lot more in the tanking video, but you can see it very clearly right there. Obviously, that was a pretty newbie PK. I mean, it was literally just ice barraging me with no switches or anything. But I don't know what they expected. But I don't even have tank gear on, and that was easy. But you can see I got the juke on them, and that's how it goes. I don't know why I'm stinking a stamina potion. Okay, so let's get back to what I was talking about. What was I talking about? I don't even remember. I think I was saying that you can go past level 70 agility. You don't have to stop here at the course at level 70. This is especially true if you go for the tanking setup, because if you tank, that takes longer to set up. You need to do more investment to get the 40 prayer and to get the hit points and whatnot, so you might take advantage of it for longer. And even if you're not doing that, because the loot is so good and you can't come back, then you might want to stick around. My recommendation is to actually go for 7.5 to up to 10 mil at least. Raw cash. You know, you could go for more because, you know, you won't really have access to it. This is even better money than the corrupted gauntlet. You know, if you put that in perspective, this is way more money per hour raw GP than the corrupted gauntlet. Obviously the gauntlet gives you armor seeds and whatnot, so it's not necessarily exactly comparable, but for just raw cash, you know, just look at that in comparison. It's even much better than that. If you're getting longer trips, if you're not leaving after like 30 laps every time or something. Okay, so what do I have on my list here? I talked about the course is frustrating. I talked about the alternatives. I talked about tanking a bit. I talked about my other videos. Now, I talked about the XP rates. Okay, so whenever you're coming out here, the important thing when you're doing your very first trip is to make sure that you don't over risk on your first trip or just in general. This course can get you kind of lulled into complacency. You go a long time and you won't see anybody, and then you log in and you're just killed. So don't get too complacent, and on your first trip out, make sure to leave relatively early. Don't risk it. Maybe get like 40 or 50 laps. You know, I'd say 50 laps tops, and then head out and get your cash locked in, because once you have some cash under your belt, then the 150k fee isn't so bad to lose. But if you don't have any extra backup cash, you will have to go back to agility pyramid or some other method, and it takes much longer. However, I implore you to think about the comparison. About if you're ever wondering if this is worth it, just do yourself an hour at agility pyramid and make yourself 200k, and then maybe do yourself an hour here and see how much money you make, and maybe you'll be more willing to accept the occasional death. Even if you only survived like 1/3 of your attempts out here or something, you would still massively profit ahead of doing like agility pyramid. And the XP rates, of course, are much better. You are, of course, always getting good experience rates in agility, even if you die and lose your money. So don't forget about that. Okay, and then let's talk about getting scouted. So at a low level, the number one piece of advice I can give you to survive at a low level is that whenever you are scouted, you need to log out. This is what got me killed. This is the mistake I made, and it took me near the end of my grind to fully and completely respect this, because if you are, especially early on, and you don't have too much backups cash, or you're early on, or you whatnot, you don't have the things, you will get scouted. And how it works is the PKers aren't usually hopping on their low level accounts. Sometimes they are, but oftentimes they are not, because if they've got a low level account, they're at very high risk to being killed by the high level PKers. Because even somebody like me who has 126 combat on this account, I can attack all the way down to level 73s. When you have people who are lower than that, it's very easy for those lower and mid-level pures to just get dumpstered on by mains. So they don't hop around as often. More often they'll be scouting on a higher level account like this one, and then if they see somebody who's low level, like you're level 3 or 4, 12 combat something, then they'll bring their other account over and then kill you with that. So that's how they do it most of the time. Not exclusively, of course, but that's the most often thing that happens. So that means that if you see a higher level PKer log in, especially if they seem to be looking at you or something, kind of acting all sus, then you need to hop worlds. I do talk more again in the tanking video about places on the course that you can log out, so I'm not going to go into detail on that here. Again, I really recommend you watch that video. But you need to hop worlds and respect the fact that they will kill you. Even if you lose your streak is less important than not dying. Keeping yourself alive is the most important thing for your profit. So even if you lose some streak, I highly recommend that you hop. Additionally, the time of day that you play is very relevant. If you want best success, then don't play. Oh, this guy's gonna try and murder me. Yeah, there he goes. Okay, let's see if I can do this again. So if you, oh no, he's got shit. Oh, he's gonna murder me. I don't know if I'm gonna get this one. But the time of day you play is super relevant. I'm not even tanking very well here. It's not good. Let's see if this works again. Ha 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 ha! Got him! Got him! I'm telling you, twice in a row. It gets them every time, man. They just don't expect it. They don't expect it. Nobody does that because it just doesn't make sense on paper. If you don't know the skeleton mechanic, it does not make sense. Oh, man, that's funny. That's funny, man. Okay, yeah, I know this video is getting super long, but whatever, All right, let's go here. Okay, so we survived another one. And I have no prayer. I didn't bring any prayer restore with me. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about before I go in this very long ramble and show you the very brief progression clips I have is the Bounty Hunter Mass Worlds. I'm going to go ahead and hop over there, I guess, in a second and see. Maybe I'll just get murdered. But, you head over there, and the Bounty Hunter Mass Worlds often have, some of the Bounty Hunter Worlds, but oftentimes there are masses held there. There are some clans that host them, and they'll give protection. You need to be in the clan chat, so you know if you're on the wrong chat, they might kill you or something. But there's the BH agility, and then I think there's like agility FC. Maybe there's some other ones, but they often host those. They need to be on the bounty hunter worlds so that they can tag people off. But that is a great place to be because most of the time the PKers who show up there are actually higher level, and those clans like to feud with each other. It seems like I don't really know all the drama between them, but for some reason they always be fighting each other. And whenever I hung out there, I saw almost no PKers that were low level. Again, because the higher level protecting PKers will absolutely dumpster on any of the low level PKers. If they try and bring a level 65 PKer to kill the low level account like yours, then that account will absolutely get destroyed by a higher level protecting account. So you're very, very safe at the masses, especially if you did go for some of those tankiness. That way you don't get one shot right away. They don't pop you. Oh man, okay. They don't really level 87. Really, buddy? Okay, thank you. Goodness. Thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna leave. But bounty hunter, bounty hunter, bounty hunter. There it is, bounty hunter. Okay, so I probably have to edit that out. I spent like a minute or two trying to find this in the list. It's not listed as a PvP world, so I forgot about that. So let's see what happens here. Maybe I'll get instantly murdered. But often I would scout it ahead of time. I wouldn't just hop to it like this. But let's see what's happening here. I think it's this one. And I don't know why they only go... yeah, see there's a couple people here. Maybe there's a clan. But sometimes you see a whole clan here. Let me check out this one. But they have they have big groups here that'll come and protect you. So it's a great thing to do. I really recommend taking advantage of those. Just do keep in mind that they do have a tendency to raid each other and kill each other and fight. But when you see that happening, you can probably get a log out. You're not the highest priority thing. And again, there's not really that many PKers that can kill you. Okay, I think that's it. This has been really long. I might edit some of it out, but honestly, as I said, it's just a lot of rambling, a lot of information I want to go over, and some cool clips of me surviving PKers. But let's go ahead and show the little bit of progression that I have from my trip here on my actual account and continue on. Good luck, have fun, and try not to die. Okay, guys, welcome back. We are here after our first trip at the Wilderness Agility course. I did 80 laps It's a little bit over an hour. I did have to log out once. I just saw a PKer who was just chilling here scouting me, and I was worried they were going to log in on alt, so I went ahead and hopped worlds, lost 10 off my streak, so I went a little bit over an hour. And you can see this is what we got. Looting bag value says 1.5 mil. So a decent amount of that is in the blighted food, so we're not going to be able to actually get cash out of that. But we're going to go ahead and sell it, and I'm going to do some talking on the way. I'm itching to get out of here. Oh, when you do this, set this and say yes and don't ask again, because you don't want to get stuck. If you're trying to escape, this is one of the ways you can get out, and you don't want that warning. So when the first time you do it, set it and say don't ask again. So yeah, we did our first hour. I'm doing this in the middle of the night, and I actually did see a level 64 PKer. It was a testament to why we're doing this so early, because I'm level 5 combat. When I'm in there, I can be attacked to up to about level 60, and there was a level 64 PKer who could not attack me, and obviously tried. You know, they clicked on me, they tried to run at me. They were already skulled, so they clearly were trying to kill me, but they could not kill me because I was so low combat. So every combat level matters here, guys. Now what we're gonna do is come over here, and we have to destroy your looting bag in the wilderness. You need to do this in the wilderness. Hopefully somebody doesn't just log in and yoink all this stuff. But this will become visible to other people as soon as you do this, so don't do it around anybody else. But you need to destroy the looting bag in the little wilderness, otherwise all the contents will be destroyed and you will be very sad. So once I get in here, we'll do a little bit more of a look. Okay, now we are completely safe. We are back and we are locked in. I'm going to do a little price check because I'm just curious. This isn't exact going to be alk values, but I'm just curious what we end up with. Okay, so adjust the alkables. So in just alkables, not including the blighted stuff, we got 1 million coins. You know, this will sell. Most of these items are probably at about alk value, so we probably got about 1 million raw GP. We'll find out here in a little bit when I go sell everything. That is insane for this level. We are literally level 5 combat, and we got all that. I got 150k from the wilderness, from the agility course, the agility pyramid, in an hour and a half, and then in less than that, got over 1 million coins. That is why we're rushing this course. That's why it's worth it. And not only that, but while I was there, I was getting 56k experience per hour in agility. Now it will go down because we're selling everything, but you know, in the time you tend to spend selling everything does cut into your XP rates. So, you know, if you have an alt, you can actually speed up selling things quite a bit. But, you know, I have an alt. I don't know if I'll bother actually going over there. Luckily, it's not so bad to sell everything because it's all mixed up. So I think the highest item I have is these rune red helms. I have 17 of them. So it's only 17 world hops. If I want to sell them all for max price, that's really not that bad at all. But you can stay here, and remember, this was only for an hour where I left actually relatively early. I'm doing this to lock in the profit so that if I do end up dying, I don't have to go back to that wilderness or that agility arena training. I'm able to, you know, go straight back into the wilderness course. But on average, you're going to profit massively. So we're going to do this. I'm going to have to be careful here. And I don't know what we're going to do with the blighted stuff, you know, if you manage to hold on to it, because it can go in your looting bag, but, you know, if you manage to get through the whole grind, or by the end of the grind you have some extras, the blighted food might be useful for something, but I'm not quite sure at the current moment what we might be using it for, or if all, because it does take up inventory space, and holding on to it requires you to hold on to a looting bag, which we might not want to do, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm just going to go ahead and sell everything, and we'll get a final profit here in a moment. As always, you can stick around. I might cut this out of the video. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we're done with this. We ended up getting, yeah, over 1 million coins in less than an hour, or actually just about an hour, a bit over an hour. And it will get better if you were to stay longer trips with the longer streak. I think it's like a 1.5 million coins per hour on average if you're doing them straight up with the level 60 streak the whole time. It's something like that. But overall, it's crazy good. I'm going to go ahead and home teleport and actually purchase the Chronicle because I lost my Chronicle earlier when I died to the Bandit Captain. I'm going to replace my shield with that, and this will help us get back. But that's about it. Hopefully you guys have fun doing this and enjoy. By the time you get to level 70, I'm going to see where we end up. I'll probably start doing longer trips. Now that I have a cash reserve, I'm not so stressed about dying. You know, if you do end up dying, it's not so punishing because you can just get your cash back out. So I might do like 2-hour trips or something, and that will be much more profit. I mean, how you could go longer than that, it's up to you, however long you want to go. But good luck.